Okay, so continuing in Na'aka, so page Mem Dalet. So Na'aka literally means to groan. And it says in the pasuk, "Vayishma Elokim es nakasam." Right, this is talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu heard the groans. Oh, Evan, what's up? You joining this year? Welcome. It's good to see you. Baruch Hashem. Okay, let's do it. Now he's in. Oh, Baruch Hashem, right? I know. Okay, good. All right, fine. So Vayishma Elokim es nakasam. So Na'aka, groaning. Huma dichtiv Vayishma Elokim es nakasam. Umefarish Rashi tzakasam. So the way that Rashi is mefarish that HaKadosh Baruch Hu heard the Na'aka, the groaning of Klal Yisrael, right, in Mitzrayim, was, as Rashi explains it, as tza'aka, something like the screaming out. V'nireh, what do we see? The Na'aka in a lashon tefillah be'ikara. We see that the lashon of Na'aka is not actually lashon of tefillah be'ikara, like be'ikra, right, in its root form. Ela be'etzem lashon genicha v'tza'aka. Really, what the word Na'aka really connotes is genicha, is a groaning. And sa'aka, and screaming, may rov yisurim, because of so much suffering. Shahari lo kosov shena'ku el Hashem, because it doesn't say, right, they groan to Hashem, right? Ela vayishma Elokim es nakasa, right? Shena'aka hitza'akas anacha ve'mayim may rov tzara, right? It was like a moan. It's like a scream because of the tzara. Ke adam hanoik me'avodas parach. Like we're talking about, like when someone groans because of hard work, avoda, whatever it is, or because of something's going wrong. People let out a groan. Even when a person's alone. And even when a person doesn't even have who to call out to. Rather, he's just soek, he calls out. Why? Because it's in his nature to do this. Right? We know that it's within a person's nature that what do we do? When you're just alone, it's not because he's saying be'ikr, it's not like a type of tefillah, right? Because we have to understand right now, why is Na'aka included by Chazal as one of the terms of tefillah? Because Na'aka itself is more of like, even when there's nobody else around, even when we're not even trying to call out to anybody. Like we spoke before about like tza'aka, right? Tza'aka was like the point is you scream out to somebody for help, right? Na'aka is just, you let out a groan. Even when there's nobody around in the room, something goes wrong, you're like, oh, right? Whatever it is. So how is this a lashon of tefillah? It just seems to be like a natural sound. V'chein. Mashmaos apasuk in Yechezkel, Nakas chala lefanov. Right, they'll groan before him. Ve'amnam, Chazal, she'amru lanu, shezeh lashon me'lishonos hatfilah. But Chazal tells us it's still from the lishonos hatfilah. Gilu lanu sheshama Elokim es nakasam. Right, mipnei shenaku el Hashem. So what was the reason they teach us that that HaKadosh Baruch Hu heard our Na'aka? Because we did Na'aka to him. But excuse me, not to him. He heard our Na'aka. Right, the point is that what? That Hashem heard us groaning, not even necessarily to him, just Hashem heard our groaning. Ubazeh nizgala lanu yisod gadol ba'avodas tefillah ubeshar avodas Hashem. And here from this we learn a tremendous yisod, not just in avodas tefillah, but in all of our avodas Hashem. Shen Na'aka, she davar tvu be'etzem rak nekas koiv. That Na'aka, which is just, it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing that's just part of a person. And that we said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it our nature, that when something goes wrong, we groan, afa pikein. Yet still, yachol ha'adam lechavin ha'na'aka. What does it say? I think it's scratched out. Shetiyel Hashem. It looks like tahir on mine. Okay. This is bad printing. Koiv is pain. Right? Na'aka, shetiyel Hashem. A person can then train and have kavana and take his na'aka, his natural groan, and channel it towards Shemayim, towards Hashem. What does this mean? Hainu, she'atza'aka ha'gadola hazos yechonena l'tefila u'l'bakasha. That this natural groan that a person lets out, that something happens, you drop something, whatever it is, you do something, you drop it, no one else is around, that natural groan, that you can instantly channel that groan to Shemayim. Ke adam ha'mebi ko'evo v'tzarasa l'chavero. Right, just like somebody who's bringing his pain and sorrows in front of his friend. What does this mean? What are we talking about? So hine roim anu sheitbiya Kadosh Baruch Hu b'teva abriya shemi sheish lo yisurim soek ba'al karcha v'shalom mirtzona. We see that Kadosh Baruch Hu made in the teva of creation that a person who has yisurim, a person who has suffering, he's soek against it's like his natural will. That what does he do? It's not even if he doesn't want to, he doesn't think about it. Something goes wrong, you groan. Sometimes you can't even stop yourself. Right? And this is one of the natural things that Kadosh Baruch Hu did to a person to protect us from damage and things that we have these natural tendencies instilled in us. This is again, scratch out. What does it say? Let's soak. Let's soak. Do you guys also have it like chopped out?
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's in all of them, right? Let's soak. Okay, fine. Let's soak beit sarah. Let's cream out an eight sarah. Sha'ay dezeh. Achru rachameim shal shomim. Also, we say that again. Like the idea is that just like like animals have like natural defense systems, natural tendencies. So too, HaKadosh Baruch Hu did the same thing for us. That we as humans, we have certain tendencies too that are natural defense mechanisms. One of those defense mechanisms that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the natural tendency that we're in a place of pain, of tzara, of something happens, we naturally groan out. Even without any thought. We just do it. We groan. And then somebody will hear us and come and say, what's wrong? What's going on, right? We automatically call for help. This is na'aka. But if we want to go to the depth of the Indian, let's go to the panemius of the Indian. If we really want to go to the depth of this and understand something that the truth is, all tza'akas, all crying out in the world, at its core, at its root, are truthfully tza'akas of tefillah. How? Shahare. Kasher chaser lamisho inyan. Mashu koev lo. Let's say, for example, a person is lacking something, right? Whatever it is. Or he's got some sort of pain, like his throat, like me right now. Ouch. Hare mitzius. Mos. Hatza'aka. Hila misha ushar v'ashalva shalo. Sheyashpia love the melas chasrono. That what is he going to do? B'mitzius. It's part of his natural essence that what's he going to do? He's going to turn also. Part of the natural essence as well is you're going to turn to the person who has the ability to do what? To be mashpia to you and to fill your lack. And sometimes we don't always know who and what and where the source of the solution is even going to be. In its essence, he kemia lemakor atov v'ashlemus bore olam baruch. So what are we saying? Nimsa shekol tza'akash ba'olam b'mehusa hamitis hi pu'ula shel tefillah. Really, every single tza'aka in the world is be'emes, be'pnimius, and we'll explain in a second, also outside, shel tefillah. V'zeh asher sam HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'teva kol bria le'atziv le'fruasa. Shekasher yitzo ekes, when a person calls out, HaKadosh Baruch Hu chash le'ezrasa. Shari be'etzem kol at tza'akos elav heim. So, what do we see about Na'aka? We didn't tie it into tefillah fully yet, but we're just understanding the essence. Now we're understanding a very deep concept, and we're going to see how we make it relevant. But the concept is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us this defense mechanism of Na'aka, that our natural tendency is that we let out like a groan or whatever it is, right? Some sort of thing. Because of the fact, and even if we don't even consciously do it, even if there's nobody even around us, right? That's the idea. Why do we do that? Why is it part of our natural tendencies? Because the previous of this thing is actually, it goes deeper. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu instilled that within us to cry out. To who? To Him. It's natural within a person that we call out to Hashem when we're in a time of tzara, we're in a time of pain, when there's something going wrong. Because it's a natural tendency to groan. Because what's the concept of groaning? So someone comes and hear you. But even if no one's near you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu hears you. Hashem built it into the tendency of man to cry out to Him. But now we have a question. Ve'amdam, ma she'ninis na'aka ben l'shonos tefillah. Right? Now, but that doesn't answer anything. How does this be counted as one of the Lashonos Tefillah? Right? Yesoda Inyan Hu, Sheva Kocho Shel Adam. Oh, it's almost like explain in a second, but just to bring out the question. This is a very nice point about Na'aka. It's a very nice point. But the whole concept of the Lashonos Tefillah, these are words, again, that have been used to describe Tefillah. These are ways that we're supposed to dive into Hashem. How is Na'aka, how is our natural groan? How is this counted as a Lashonos Tefillah? Just because we let out a cry, even if we have no conscience of it, we have no kavanah to that. We just, why is that tefillah? Listen to this. Yesoda inyan. The yesoda is like this. Hu shebekocho shel adam lechaven bedaito. Hatza'akos ha'elu lehedya elav yizbarach tefillah. Because the person has the ability to do what? To actually direct and to actually be mechaven. To be mechaven in his mind these sakos, these na'akos, these groans, explicitly and directly to Hashem as a tefillah. What does this mean? Mashal lema davar doma. What is this a mashal to? Lema shemisaprim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Excuse me. No. See again, it's misprinted. Misaprim HaKadosh Rabbi Baruch Ber Levovich. All right. Zechar Galenu. Kishahayu Yelad. When he was a kid, he ko aviv. His father hit him. Whatever he did some normal thing that that kids normally do. And in the middle of him crying, and the kid was crying because his tati hit him, and he's crying, and in the middle of crying he got up, and what did he do? Lakachas a sitter, and he took his sitter. V'hitchil lispal mincha. What? She'elu aviv lama shalu aviv lama davka achshav atam ispalo minacha right mincha. Wow, this is a really badly printed section. Minacha, this is mamish miss. It's a badly printed section. Baruch Hashem. Okay, we're putting it together. So we're playing the puzzle game over here. Nispalo mincha, right? It says mincha. So why now you davening mincha? What should you're in the middle of crying because I just smacked you. Why now? And what does he say? Because you would think that he should wait till later until he calms down. Ve'aneu hare ben kach u ben kach ani bocha. He says either way. Listen to this line. Either way, I'm crying. Ben kach u ben kach, I'm crying. And not sell bechia zot tefillah. I may as well save this crying and use it for tefillah. May as well do something with it. He's a kid. The rabbi, when he was a kid, he says he's in the middle of crying. He says, "I'm crying anyways. I may as well channel and turn it into tefillah." Wild.
Is there a barf pair like the whisker?
What is that?
A barf pair like the times of the...
Most likely. I don't know. I'm not sure honestly. Levovich, it's Ben. So that's the big secret about this book. That was why I did it. Okay, so what does it say? Vehi nifla. Lemis bonen ven haga nifla. Think about this. It says this is a tremendous inyan, tremendous concept, and it's a haga nifla. It's a wondrous way. It's an imperative way to live our lives. This is why he said it's bigger than just the Yisod of Avodas Tefillah, even all of Avodas Hashem. That's what the note is. We're going to see in a minute also. She ishtadel ha'adam shelo teitze mipiv tza'akal l'shav. That a person doesn't just let out of his mouth a cry or a groan l'shav to nothing. Shehare be'emes chaval al davar kol kach nifla k'mo tza'akal sheteitze larik. It's a chaval. When you let out a scream, you let out a groan with nothing, with no destination. If you can and then channel that to Shemayim, ein lecha davar tovi mena. There's nothing better than that. Had shebe emes, had dimos, va'anachos, hasvios, habos aleinu bakarchenu beisara. Because the truth is, our tears and our groans, they're natural and they come to us at natural times against our will. We don't even want to make it happen. We're just doing it. It just happens, and they come to us, right? Hema yalumi or margalios yikarim meod. It says, believe it or not, the tears of the pain, the tears of the tsaros, are diamonds and pearls and sapphires. I'm assuming shotos, yeah? What kind of fools would just take these precious diamonds and these precious sapphires and just throw them away? And not use them. Why? You're going to find $1 million diamond in the street and just be like, nah, I'm good. Like, pass it away. Right? What, you're going to let it just like put it on the ground, leave it on the ground, let it just get swallowed by the ground? Right? Rather, you have the ability to do what? To take these things, to take these tears, to take these groans. The next time you groan, the next time you drop the milk, the next time you do anything, doesn't matter what it is. The next time you drop something, you make a spill. You're like, oh. Channel that groan, that natural groan. That's an indicator. Akash Baruch Hu gave that to us. He built us with that natural tendency to groan like that. He gave it to us like that. Because of the fact that now we have the ability, even in those moments, to channel ourselves to Shemayim. The Kamosha Amr Chazal, Apa Pi, Sheshari Tefillah Nenalu, even the gates of Tefillah have been locked since the destruction of Beis Mikdash. Shari Dimalo Nenalu. The gates of tears are never locked. When a person's at a time of tsar, and a time of any sort of tsar, when tears and groaning are coming out of him, just like the kid when he davened mincha in the midst of his tears, he says, "Up to us, it's imperative upon us. Next time we're suffering at all." He says, "This is the way to find the kirvas Hashem. The way to find closest connection to Hashem is in the darkest times." Whatever it is, doesn't have to be something so drastic. Every day we have moments like this. Maybe we're in the middle of a sugya and we just get so fed up with it. It's so confusing. We don't get it. We're like, oh, right? Channel that immediately, second nature, right to Shemayim. That's the most powerful tefillah you could do. And Akash Baruch Hu gives us an indicator. He says, and if you don't do that, it's a waste because you just wasted precious diamonds. The gates of tears are never closed. He says you don't have to actually be crying. That the gates of tears are not just physical tears. They're also these groans. They're of tzara, right?
I feel like this Indian is more applicable in the situation like you said, like outside of doctrine.
Ah, good. And he's going to say that. Listen what he's going to say. Listen, good. Well, actually, let me before we say that, what you're saying is you're saying a great point, and it's important to understand that all of the shonos of tefillah here. When we say outside of davening, right? Do you guys remember one of the first introductions I gave? What was the hakdam? One of the hakdamas I gave. You guys remember? What did I say the zman of tefillah is? Anybody remember? Always 24/7/12, right? So the idea is that the mindset. This is going beyond the mindset, and what he's telling us right now, this is going beyond the mindset of just davening. And all these lashonos tefillah go beyond just in Milo Shachar and Chamarif. That this is the idea that a lashon of tefillah from Chazal that tells us daven, just daven all day, daven whenever you can, daven every moment, right? And this is an example of that, how to bring it to our lives. I love the because either way they're coming out. Either way, we're letting them out. We're letting out the tears. We're letting out the groan. May as well channel to Hashem to save us from our pain. That these things have the power to bring these down. He says the wise man, the person who's wise, the person who's smart, is going to make himself habitual to this. He's going to make this regular thing in his life. Just work on this every single moment. Asher al kol tzar asher karo, that every single time that any sort of tzar happens to him, any sort of pain happens to him, or any time he hears about a disaster, or bad news, or something terrible, or somebody's sick, chas v'shalom, shekofetz halev, that his heart jumps, and any sigh, no matter how small or how big, that leaves your mouth. That as that groan, as that feeling of despair starts to leave your mouth, immediately just close your eyes and turn that into a tefillah. Just imagine that groan just flying up to Shemayim, and then make your bakashas, because you just open the gates of tears. Shechaval me'od, it's a chaval mamish. Levazves, otzaros ikarim, to just ransack. Right, to just ignore these things. Right, these such good things like the opportunity and these feeling of tsar and these ability to ask for tov. You're able to use these to adorn the crown of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that, I think that this is all in Parshas Vayechi. This is a beautiful idea, I'll tell you after. And it's incumbent upon us, right? It's incumbent upon us. It's incumbent upon us to work on this. We're going to go back to the footnote and finish up with the footnote in a second. And Ashrei, praise the person who does this. I have a note here. What is this? This is I wrote a note years ago. Look at that. Any exercise feeling, Zman of Tefillah is 24/7/12. There you go. That's what I told you. See, I've been saying these things for years. I'm repetitive. Baruch Hashem. All right. And now let's go to the Hagal. Let's go to the footnote. But hear the koach of this. Hear the koach of this. This is tefillah. This is what we said at the very beginning. What did we say tefillah is at the beginning? How did I define tefillah? A lot of people define tefillah as an ATM. You go in, you ask for what you need, and you leave. But what did I define tefillah as? It's a relationship. That's what tefillah is. Tefillah is relationship. Tefillah is building relationship. That's the ikar of tefillah. The ikar of tefillah is not the bakashas. The ikar of tefillah is just being there, being close to Hashem. That's why this is one of the lashonos of tefillah, na'aka, because of the fact that we're just channeling any sort of random mundane thing into a connection with Hashem. That's the idea of tefillah. That's what tefillah is, closeness. Let's go to the footnote. La'amito shel davar, kalul inyan zeh b'harbe avodas. This inyan that we're discussing is included in many different avodas. Shem maisim rabim yachol ha'adam b'ma'at kavana u'machshava. That there's many different things that a person with just a little bit of thought, a little bit of kavana, l'hapcha mein yanam pshutim b'tivim, a person could transform them from something that's just like a natural thing, a pashut thing, l'pu'ulos gedolos v'nis gavos, into an act of holy work, mamish, something ginormous. Dugma l'davar. Let me give you an example. Olam chesed yibana. Right, the world is built on chesed. Ruba de alma she'oskim b'derech eretz leparnasasam. Majority of the world is osek in parnasa. We do business. You have to make money. Ro pula sayem chesed. Hein. It's missing mamish like heinim chesed heinim abrios. They do chesed heinim abrios. Why? Right? Zeh mechal lechem v'chala bechanuso. V'zeh oseh begadim l'hal b'shanoshim. Right? Because one person, for example, when a person is doing this work, let's say he owns a grocery store, right? What does he do? He's giving milk. He's selling milk, but he's providing milk to a person. So he's doing look what he's doing. This person works as a tailor. This person is providing, albeit for money, but he's providing clothes to a person. V'hine me'achar she'osa zos leparnasa. So even though he's doing it for his parnasa, ein bazeh mitzvah v'maisim ein be'etza bli erech. Right? Then there's nothing to it, right? Because the point is, like we said a second ago, there's nothing to it, right? Because in theory, you would think that since you're doing it for your parnasa, then there's nothing to it. You're not doing a mitzvah now. You're just doing it so you can make your money, then go back and learn Torah or whatever. Aval im yachnis me'asis bonus. Listen to this. Aval im yachnis. This is yesodos ha'olam. This is mamish yesod. Aval im yachnis me'atis bonus. If you, however, in the middle of you selling your milk and the store, the person's checking out the milk in the store, and you put a little bit of kavana, a little bit of his bonus. Think about it a little bit. Sheyikva b'daito, you instill in your mind shebe'emes kol osko hu chesed v'doeg labrios. That really, and you actually put in your mind, you're like, wow, olam chesed yibane, olam chesed yibane. Really, I'm doing a chesed right now. I'm being mechaber to do a chesed right now. In this moment, I'm giving milk to him. Uma shelokeach. What do we say there? Completely cut off this one. Avor, sure, okay, that works. Avor tzerchaso mamur marviach, and good, right, good. And he's saying, and the person he says, for right now, he's like, I'm doing a chesed with this person. The money that I'm taking right now, it's only because I need money. If I didn't have money, I would die. Right? If I don't have this money, if I just gave everybody free milk and did pure chesed, I'd die, and my family would die. We wouldn't have any milk. We wouldn't have any food. What am I going to do? So he says, you think about it. You put in your mind. You say, I'm giving this person, I'm doing a chesed. I'm giving this person sustenance. I'm letting him live. I'm letting his family live. I'm doing a chesed. Olam chesed ibane. And the money I'm making on this is just because I have to. But if you put in your mind, you think that my real intention in this moment is to do chesed im abrios. Is to do chesed for this person. And if a person feels happy and sameach bechelko, that he's able to be the one to bestow and give food to people. And these, the shchein of his neighbors are these banim ahuvim, are the sons, the beloved sons of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And you have the ability to be the one to make sure that they get their cool custom shoes. You know what I'm saying? Baruch Hashem. Or their cool custom hat bags. You know? Baruch Hashem. They're banim shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're doing a chesed. And the money you make, you're making money you make. But the
giving them good golf clubs.
Yeah, exactly. Golf clubs too. Hare, he's bonus v'kavana zu. Hope chimaisim pshutim. But on a real note, this shtickle kavana, this little teensy kavana, completely is hafuch, is mahapich. It turns this act of mundaneness into an act lemaisim nefloim shal chesed b'alei tochem pnimi, filled with pnimius, filled with chesed, filled with mitzvahs. It turns every moment of your day into a mitzvah and kirvas Hashem. Ve'lo rak tzorech atzma, not just your own needs. Ve'yesh b'zeh inyan harbe ofanim be'afsharios she'akavana ta'apoch afar ba'avanim le'kesed b'zav. And mamish, he's explaining, he says this inyan is like literally you're turning dirts and mud into precious stones of sapphire and gold and silver. Yishma hachacham ve'yosef lekach navon tachbolos ikoneh. He says a wise person will listen and add knowledge. That's what this pasuk means, right? And a certain individual, right? You're making strategies and ideas. You're gonna make strategies and acquire strategies to do this. So this is the reason I say this is mamish, like ikr yesod. This is, a lot of people have big misconceptions. They don't understand that in life it's like people just give up. People give up easily, in a sense. You know, people are like, I can only learn for an hour a day because I'm working. Okay, I'm a bad Jew and that's it. And then you just kind of like conform to that, and you're like, just kind of like let everything else kind of down, let down your guard as a whole, just become a regular balabas, whatever it is. If you don't realize you have the ability during the day to be osik in avodas hakodesh just like anybody else. And they say that potentially that if you're working with the intention like give tzedakah, if you're working for parnasa, the intention to make parnasa, to do this good thing, to do that good thing, to do business honestly, you just have these intentions. All of a sudden, you just made it into a mitzvah. Same thing working out. Working out is a great example of this. Working out can easily be a mundane activity. It can be an activity where you're just going, lifting weights because you want to make yourself look good. You want to make yourself look good. You want to make yourself feel good. It's a very selfish. Working out, there's nothing more selfish than than taking time out of your day to go work on your body. Nothing more selfish than that. Nothing more self-absorbed than that. However, the moment before you start working out, what do you think? You just think, Hashem, I'm doing this. L'tzorech brias haguf. So I can keep the body to keep me healthy, and so I could be mentally healthy, I can have self-confidence, I could feel good about myself, and l'shem shemayim, this is going to help me be the best Avodah Hashem I can be. L'shem yichud shabrichos, you don't need to say that. But the idea is, you just go, and what do? You start working out. And you just turned, by just having this little kavanah, you just turned working out into a mitzvah. into a mitzvah and you're doing ma'asim gedol and crazy things. You could do this to anything. That's the concept of na'aka. Turning a little groan into a tefillah shamayla. Shkoyak, guys. Amazing. As I shall, we'll continue next week.